How many times have you used salt today? At breakfast, lunch, or dinner? Salt is so common that most of us barely notice it. You can buy a bag for just a few dollars, and every restaurant keeps it on the table. But thousands of years ago, salt was something entirely different. People traveled hundreds of miles to obtain it. Kings fought wars to control it. Entire civilizations depended on it. In many places, salt was considered as valuable as gold. But perhaps the most surprising part of its story is this. Some of the English words we use every day can trace their origins back to this simple white crystal. Today, we'll discover how salt shaped not only human civilization, but also the language we speak. Before refrigerators existed, preserving food was one of humanity's greatest challenges. Fresh meat spoiled within days. Fish could not survive long journeys. Milk quickly turned sour. People desperately needed a way to preserve their food. That solution was salt. Salt draws moisture out of food, making it much harder for harmful bacteria to grow. It allowed people to preserve meat, fish, cheese, and countless other foods for weeks or even months. It made long-distance travel possible. It supplied armies with food. It helped civilizations survive. Salt wasn't simply a seasoning. It was a technology for survival. Where salt traveled, trade followed. Markets appeared. Cities grew. Civilizations flourished. Ancient Rome understood the value of salt better than almost anyone. One of its oldest roads was called the Via Salaria. Literally, the Salt Road. Its purpose was to transport salt from the coastal saltworks to communities deep inland. But salt wasn't the only thing moving along this road. Merchants traveled it. Ideas spread along it. Money flowed through it. Entire communities developed because of it. You've probably heard the saying, "All roads lead to Rome." Contrary to popular belief, this expression has nothing to do with salt. It refers to the vast network of roads that connected every corner of the Roman Empire to its capital. Yet among those famous roads stood one named after salt itself. That simple fact reminds us just how essential salt was to Rome's economy and to its success. Now, the story of salt moves from history into language. Consider the word salary. Its ancestor was the Latin word salarium. At its heart lies the word sal, the Latin word for salt. Today, historians believe salarium referred to an allowance or payment connected with salt, perhaps money intended to purchase it, or a stipend associated with its distribution. For generations, many people have repeated the story that Roman soldiers were paid directly in salt. It's a fascinating tale. But there is no clear historical evidence proving that soldiers literally received salt as their wages. What is certain is this. Salt was so valuable that its name eventually became associated with payment itself. Over time, salarium became salary, the word millions of people still use today. Every payday carries a small reminder of salt's remarkable importance. Next comes another familiar word. Salad. Its roots lie in the medieval Latin expression, herba salata. The word herba means herbs, greens, or leafy vegetables. Salata means salted or seasoned with salt. Together, the phrase simply meant salted greens. Long before bottled dressings existed, Romans seasoned fresh vegetables with salt, olive oil, and vinegar. Those salted greens gradually gave birth to the word salad. Today, when we think of salad, we imagine a healthy meal. Originally, however, the name simply described vegetables seasoned with salt. Another everyday word has the same ancestor. Sauce. Comes from the Latin word salsus, meaning salted or seasoned with salt. In the ancient world, sauces were far more than flavor enhancers. Salt-based seasonings preserved food while making it taste better. The very idea of a sauce was closely tied to the power of salt. Even today, every spoonful of sauce carries a linguistic trace of that ancient tradition. Now consider sausage. Long before refrigeration, People preserved meat by mixing it with generous amounts of salt and spices before stuffing it into animal intestines. This practical method of preservation eventually gave rise to the food and the word we know today. Its linguistic roots also lead back to the Latin family of words, built around sal, meaning salt. The same is true of salami. Its very name reflects meat preserved through salting and curing. Two of the world's most popular foods still carry the memory of salt in their names. What about salsa? Today we think of tomatoes, peppers, onions, and spicy Mexican cuisine. Originally, however, salsa simply meant a salted sauce. Only later did the word become associated with the fresh tomato-based condiment we know today. Even salsa owes its name to salt. You may have heard another claim that the word soldier also comes from salt. It's an appealing story, but modern linguists disagree. The word soldier is generally believed to come from the Latin solidus, the name of a Roman gold coin. While salary has genuine historical ties to salt, soldier follows a completely different linguistic path. Sometimes the most popular stories aren't the most accurate. Salt is far more than a simple seasoning. It preserved lives. It built trade routes. It helped cities grow. It strengthened civilizations. And remarkably, it also shaped the language we still use today. Every time we receive a salary, enjoy a salad, pour a sauce, eat a sausage or salami, or dip into salsa, we're unknowingly repeating words that began thousands of years ago with one humble mineral. The next time you reach for the salt on your table, take a moment to remember. This tiny white crystal didn't just flavor our food. It helped shape our history, and even the words we speak every single day. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.